Hello, welcome to the table. My name's Jonathan Hicks.
I'm Steve Ryan.
And I'm Mark Windle.
And this is our Spiel Des Jahres video. So every year the Germans vote on which they think is the game of the year, and this is aimed really at family. So it's not like heavyweight Euros or anything. This is the most accessible family weight games, and they nominate 3 every year. And we have the 3 nominations here, more or less. But we've got Just One, Werewords and Llama. So we're going to tell you a little bit about them. Then we're going to try and say which one we like the best or which one we think should win. And then we're going to go for the one that we think really ought, or actually is going to win. Because often the ones that will win are not necessarily the ones that we like or think should win.
So we're picking kind of our favourite and then what we think will win, which in previous years usually do not match.
Indeed. So Werewords is essentially 20 questions mixed with like One Night Ultimate Werewolf. So you have all the roles from Werewolf, so you get, well, not all of them, but you get the villagers and the werewolves, and there's a mayor who's the person who kind of knows what the secret word is. So it might be that the secret word is bathroom, for example, and then everyone goes around the table asking yes or no questions. So is it alive? And you hand out tokens, so you give them a no token. Is it man-made? Oh, yes, we'll give that a yes token for that. And so you go around trying to home in on the answer, except that the werewolves in the group don't want the group to guess what the real thing is. So they're trying to maybe throw you off the scent or ask questions that aren't so helpful. But the tricky thing with this, a bit like One Night Ultimate Werewolf really, is that at the end, if you fail as a group to guess what the magic word is, people then have a chance to vote on who they think the werewolf is.
Who is the most unhelpful.
Yes, and if you manage to out the werewolf, then the villagers win. So the werewolf doesn't want to be too unhelpful. But equally, if you manage to guess the word correctly, because there's one person who knows...
Yeah, it's like the werewolf, but the seer on the village team.
That's right. So they get to see what the real word is. So one of the villagers, if you like, who's asking questions, knows what it is. So if their question was, is it a room in a house? You'd be like, yes, that's a great question. then you might give themselves away, because at the end, if you get it correct, then the werewolves get a chance to vote on who they think the seer is, and if they're right, then they win. So it's that kind of hidden. You want to lead people in a certain way, but not be too obvious about it. I've had a great time with this, playing it with my family personally. What do you guys think?
I think it's great that at the end of the game, the end of the 4 minutes, or until you've got the word, or however long you play, that whatever happens, one of the teams has a guess as to who the bad guy is, or at least who the target on the other team is. Can you out the werewolf? Can you out the seer? Depending on what the guess has been. And so a lot of the time, especially when you're the seer or the werewolf, you're spending the whole game not just trying to think of good clues or clues that aren't going to give yourself away. You're trying to think about the clues that other people are going to give. Think, oh, the seer wouldn't have asked that. No, that's a stupid question. And then you're trying to do that. So as the seer, you're trying to ask the odd stupid question to throw them off the scent. And that's a really nice way of coming in a bluffing game. It's not just play at the end of the game, oh, yeah, we've caught them, we've won. You get that dilemma at the end, so you can't be too obvious either way around.
Yeah, I love Werewords. It's a lovely variant on 20 questions with roles. I think that's the thing that makes it different. Because it is essentially 20 questions, but it's just the roles add enough to mix it up, especially when the fact that the werewolf can cross with the mayor, and then that throws it wide open.
Yeah.
Where
you can be a werewolf mayor.
Yeah, and
then you can lie, can't you?
Yeah.
So people say, "Is it a room in a house?" No. Although obviously at the end when they know what it is, it becomes very obvious and they'll guess you.
It's neat. I guess you might occasionally have the issue where somebody just goes, I can't think of a good question, that on the spot, that you'll get the slight rabbit in the headlights. It's not too prevalent in this though compared to some games. It's relatively alright.
I think it's okay because it's cooperative. So other people can suggest questions like, oh, that's a good question, I'll ask that.
I'm always like, is it bigger than a microwave?
Or it goes, is it made of metal? No.
Is it made of wood?
No.
You
get the idea. So you get these chain of questions. You think, how tall is it? Is it taller than the person? No. Is it taller? And you can kind of narrow it down. So if you're the seer or something, you can narrow it down. One of my favourite questions was, we found out it was edible. And Matt was the mayor and I was the werewolf. And I knew it was a cappuccino or something. I says to Matt, would you have it? And Matt went, no. And we all thought then, brilliant, it's going to be something with meat in it because Matt's a vegan. But actually, I knew he just didn't like coffee. So I had a really sneaky question to Matt there. Would he eat it? And obviously, trying to narrow it down in a way that people wouldn't think. So you can be really clever. You can be really devious as the werewolf. If you know it's about this big, you can say, is it bigger than a toaster? And you put the mayor in a real problem here because it's about the same size as a toaster. Do they say yes, no, or maybe? Well, if they say maybe, does that mean it varies in size? And you get all these things. Oh, It's Llama.
Yes.
So Llama, we've played a kind of print and play copy of Llama. We haven't had access to the real thing because it's not available in our country yet. But we had a few games at the expo. And in Llama, it is effectively... you're playing cards from your hand, and on your turn you either pass and bow out and you're out for the rest of the round, or you play a card, or you pick up a card. So you think, oh, I can't play, do I dare pass? You pick up another one. And what you're doing in the middle, the cards are numbered from 1 through 6, with a Llama as the highest number, so it beats 6. And on your turn, if the 3's in the middle, you can play another 3, or you can play one higher. So what you're trying to do is get rid of all your cards.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is, when you pass, you're going to score all the different numbers in your hand. So if I've got 3 3s in my hand and there's a 4 on the table, well, it's going to take ages for it to kind of loop round, because a Llama goes to a 1, then a 2. It's going to take ages for me to loop round. So if I keep drawing cards, I'm going to have a rack up of points. But if I pass now with 3 3s, I'm only going to score 3 points, because you're scoring for the different numbers. If I pass with a 1, a 2 and a 3, I'm going to score 6 points. So when do you pass? When do you kind of carry on? Because if you're the only person left, you can't draw any more cards, and you've got to try and get rid of as much of your hand as you can. We had a bit of fun there, Jonathan. Not a fan of this game, but there was one turn where he thought, oh, this is always... There was one turn where he goes, oh my god, I've scored 26 points. Because Mark and I bowed out before he could kind of draw the card he needed. And we had a bit of a laugh doing that. They have one interesting thing, is that when you're scoring the points, if you score 10 points, you take like a black token or a white token. I can't remember which way around the tokens are. There's black and white. So blacks are 1s and whites are 10s. And then if you get rid of all your cards, you get to put 1 token back. So I kept getting single points. So every time I got rid of my hand, I put a single token back. Every time Jonathan got rid of his hand, he's got this massive 26 pointer. So he could get rid of 10 pointers. It feels a bit random, and it is a light card game.
It is random.
But I will say this as a caveat. I think it might be different with more players. I think if you have 5 or 6 people going around, I think it's longer before it comes back round to you. You know, you might think, oh, I can risk staying in a bit longer because I know there's a lot more people who might push it round to the number I need it to get to. So we haven't played with that player count. So our views are slightly tinted.
It's essentially a push your luck game because, as Steve says, if you're sitting there with 3 3s, or maybe it's a bit more spread out. Let's say you've got a 2, a 4, and a 5 or something. But if Mark plays a 5 and then Steve plays a 6, it's like, oh, do I draw a card because then it's going to come around and I'll get the 2 and the 4 and 5 played. You're kind of hoping to play the cards as long as the one you draw isn't too bad for you, but then you can really do yourself in.
Because if you draw and then the other 2 people pass, you're like, I'm stuck with a hand I can't play and I can't draw any more cards, so you score all these points.
But it's just so random. I mean, it feels like it fills that kind of Uno niche where it requires no skill to play, so it's super accessible. It's very easy for any kind of family members, kids could easily join and play the game, and they'll kind of enjoy the motions of, oh, they're playing the cards and they're seeing what happens. But in terms of learning how to make strategic decisions and do better, I don't think you learn that at all in this game. It's just, you just try your best and, oh, well, I got 26 points. So, I mean, you can always bow out, but if you just keep bowing out, you're not going to do that well. What do you think, Mark?
I think my one positive is the bit where I've maybe got 2 3s in my hand. I play one of them and I go, I hope it's a 3 by the time it gets back to me so I can play it again.
Yeah.
And that's about it. There's the tension of I hope the cards fall in a way that still suit me. But at times I just don't feel like I can make any effect on whether they are the cards I want. I can't adjust the game. So it's a case of, do I jump out now before I get done in? Or do I take a risk? Which I guess is all right.
I had a bit of fun playing it. It was nice to see other people getting done in and such. And, you know, occasionally it's like, do I drop out or do I risk it? There's occasionally, but there's just not enough strategy to the game. It felt a bit random. And would I buy it? No. I probably wouldn't even buy it for the cafe, apart from the fact it's been nominated for Game of the Year and people might want to play it.
I don't think that's a good thing to say about Spiel nominee, is that I had fun when somebody else got done in.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good selling point. I don't think you want
I did.
That. I know you did, but that's because we play as friends. But as a family, I'm not sure. Yeah. I don't think the father wants to be, I'm having fun because I've just done my kid in.
Yeah.
I mean, they might enjoy it.
I'm astonished that it's been nominated.
Yeah, it's far too light, I think.
It doesn't fit. Yeah. Like for me, the hallmark of a good game is interesting decisions. When it comes to yours, it's like, oh, do I do this or do that? Ooh, But it just has so few interesting decisions in it. Anyway,
just
things.
One. Yes, just one is the best thing. So just one. I mean, you think that was simple to teach. This is easier.
Yeah.
So let's say a Mario Go. I've got a card in front of me with 5 different words on it. I can't see what's on that card. I pick a number, and then everybody gets to their board and scribbles down a word to try and help me guess. Well, it can be multiple, but to help me guess what this is. And then I have to look away, and then they all compare with each other. And if any of them have got the same, they both have to rub it off, therefore limiting the amount of stuff I've got. And then they reveal what I've got. I have a look. I can choose whether to try and guess it or not. But ultimately, that's the game. And that's really, really simple and absolutely amazing.
It's cooperative, so you're all kind of trying to work together. So you want to guess Mark's word, and he wants to guess it, and then you each take turns, effectively, don't you? But as you say, it's just so easy to teach.
Yeah.
It works so well with any group. I've played this with heavy gamers, family, kids. It just always works well.
I think it's brilliant. I think you can play this without actual heavy gamers. It's so accessible to anyone. They can just come in, and if you play Werewords or some of the other games where some of the group have played it a lot and you're new, you won't be the same level. You won't be able to kind of help out. You won't think of the right sort of questions. In Just One, you can be Mr. Obvious or Mr. Basic, and you just write the basic thing down because you know everyone else has played it a lot, or who knows the person giving with the word in front of them, that you can give much different clues. And as long as you're not clashing, you're actually contributing.
I think it's quite nice if you know the person, you can tailor your answer to something A, that somebody else won't probably put down, and B, something that will make it easier for them. Because you have to be a good judge of who's got the clue in front of them is a big thing in this. It's what do I think they will guess, not what would I guess.
Yeah. And it's very nice to have two clues from far different things. And we had one we're trying to get the word wolf, and someone put fur and someone put gladiator. And obviously fur and gladiator don't link in any way apart from when someone else puts like fangs or something. Oh, fur, fangs, gladiator, wolf. And just really nice things, because gladiator doesn't link in it with anything else. And just being able to do that kind of off the cuff, like different meaning for the words or that someone else will get is great.
Yeah. The thing I like most about it is that idea that you want, obviously, let's say we're trying to get Mark to guess it. I don't want to clash with Steve, so I kind of want to be obscure, come at it from a different angle. But if everyone takes that view, there's no way he's going to guess it. You know, if the answer is lawn or something, you need somebody to write grass. Because if we all come at it from tennis, that's right, all kinds of other things.
Bowls, sports, yeah.
He's just not going to get it. So you need somebody to just be really, really obvious.
But you're not allowed to agree who that is.
That's right. And you're looking around thinking, should I write grass? Is he going to write it? So that's great. It's so enjoyable and yet so simple. So, yeah, I think it's great.
I think we should go with our suggestions and guesses.
So should we go with favourites first? Which of the three will be your favourite game? The one you'd sort of like to win?
I think I'm going to go with Just One as my favourite. I think I'm going to end up playing it more, even though I think this actually might be the best in the One Night Ultimate series. Just because the amount of times I'm going to play this.
I find it really hard picking between these two. And I sort of vacillate depending on the day. But yes, I think actually this is just so satisfying, and it's so quick and so enjoyable to play.
And as a game to bring other people in, this involves lying and that doesn't.
Yeah.
And there are some people who, like Mark said, who won't be able to think of a good question.
Yeah, I think this would be my favourite of the three.
Yeah, I think you've kind of convinced me, because I would happily play either of them.
Yeah, pretty much all the time. They're both great games.
But if I had to push it, I think I will consistently have more fun with that, with varying groups, while that occasionally could fall flat. Only occasionally, with a few people in the group. I doubt it'll fall flat with the entire group. But I think everybody I've ever played that with ever has always enjoyed that.
Yeah. And which one do we think will win?
Just One.
I agree. Although, I mean, I think these are both great choices for the Spiel. They just fit the award perfectly. We've talked quite a bit about accessibility, and that really is a key requirement. And these are both very accessible, but this one is even more accessible, which is why I think it will win.
I think you can watch a group playing it for a question or two, jump in, and know all the rules without being taught it.
Yeah, it is perfect. They've done so well with it. I mean, I couldn't really recommend it any higher. I think for that style of game, it is as good as it gets.
I think, in my opinion, that's the strongest Spiel nominee I've seen in a few years. Yeah. I think it's that good.
Yeah.
Now that the Spiel's gone lighter than it used to be.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's changed a bit over the years. All right, well, that's what we think. What do you think? Do let us know below in the comments. And the award will be, like the winner, if you like, will be announced in a few weeks. So, post it. All right, thanks very much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.